Hi, Andrew here. So I'm starting up my hour. I'll just grab the GitHub repo. I heard Andy over from me talking about having issues with modules, and off the top of my head, Python is not as flexible as other programming languages when it comes to jumping around through modules. So as annoying as it is, I think we're going to have to go with the sort of Superfiles method, where we have just a single folder called source, which has all of the game files, and they're all in the same directory, including the tests. It's a little bit weird, but that's what I'm going to go with. So I'm just sort of creating my files here. I'm going to have a bunch of controllers. Under the same file. And here I'm defining a bunch of constants, which will be used like enums, enumerators, to signal certain actions. That'll do for now. Now I'll make my main function. My main function is basically going to create some sort of app class, and the app class simply has a function called main loop, which sort of starts the app running and then returns which action to take after that. Now what I'm doing is I'm just setting up some if statements to say, hey, based on what action is returned, what should we do? Now I'm saying that my app will have a controller class, and I'll create new view controllers and pass them in, and that sort of sets the mode of the app. So if I create a load menu view controller, that puts it into the load menu mode. I'm just tightening the code up a little bit in a big elif statement. And now I am creating the app, just sketching out the basic functionality. So we return the return action quit enum if we hit escape, basically. I'm going to go back and forth on this a little bit. I've also created a return action none, which is returned in the case that nothing happens. So, for instance, we have this handle mouse click, which returns an action that could be taken if I click on an exit or new button or something. But then if I click on no button, then I return the none action, and I can use that to test whether the app should exit early. So here I am, I'm setting up the menu controller, and I haven't really seen what other people have written yet, so I kind of have to go in blind. And I'm noting it's a little frustrating trying to come up with values off the top of my head. And I think even visual people need to actually see what they're doing, so I'm just going to comment that code out, and then when I get the rest of that code, I'll see how it all works together. But what I can do is kind of sketch out, okay, for a mouse click, which button is it inside, which action should be returned. Now the purpose of this superclass, even though it's never really initialized, is simply to sketch out the types. Now I'm also defining some constants for renderable types, and these constants will be able to hopefully be read by the engine as well, just to make the code a little bit more robust. So that function returned a dictionary of all the renderable types for the view. Okay, so with that, most of the code is written for now. I'm just going to go through and do some documentation. I know this is sort of rushing through things a little bit, but you know, in the early stages, there's a lot of mud that we have to swim through, basically. After Andre finishes his bit, we'll sort of all push our bits onto GitHub, and that'll be in the link. But the link's there now if you want to have a look at it. Not this, obviously, we haven't pushed this yet. Alrighty, and that is it. So, yeah, hope you enjoyed that, and yeah, well, you know, next video up will be Andre's stuff.